Now, Dipstick, Nebraska, got its name. I'd like to tell you about one of my boyhood heroes, Earl Krieger, who some people say was responsible for giving the little town I grew up in, Dipstick, Nebraska, its name. Earl Krieger lived at a time when Dipstick, Nebraska was called B33. The town was named after its grid coordinates on a U.S. Geological Survey map. Earl was a bachelor farmer, and he was an inventor. He had dozens of U.S. patents in his name. Shortly after moving into town so he could dedicate himself to inventing things full-time, Earl received in the U.S. mail a patent awarding him rights to the dipstick. He figured the patent was a joke, sent to him by some disgruntled federal worker. He talked about the mistake to the editor of the local county newspaper, a weekly publication, and the paper published an article, much like previous articles it had written about Earl. The article praised Earl for his genius and called him a great man for having invented the dipstick. Mayor Swinburne, who was all things to all people, a man of faith, and a man who drank beer, read the newspaper article, then read it again. He had the idea of his lifetime. He decided to change the name of his town from B33 to Dipstick. Meanwhile, Earl Krieger started working on Eargunk Begone, a phone cleaning device, and the Blow It Big bubblegum mouth insert. These were the days before remote control, even before the drive-in movie. Nuclear weapons had just been invented, but highway speed limits were still 45 miles per hour. "Where are we going to get the money?" Swinburne asked his assistant Maggie. "If we want change, we'll need to pay." They decided to set up a speed trap on the highway that ran through town. They posted one sign that said 45, and a short while later, another that said 20. The second sign had another sign under it, on the same pole, which said, "Fines triple." Money started rolling in. The city's cash on hand ballooned. Mayor Swinburne was everywhere, going to church with his Bible in hand, drinking champagne to celebrate New Year's, drinking green beer on St. Patrick's Day. On the night of Halloween, he wore a clock face as a mask. It was exactly the go-getter image that he wanted to present. The people of the town loved their mayor. They loved his idea for changing the name of the town. But mostly the people just liked to drink beer. "You can't change the town's name to Dipstick," said hanging Judge Schwartz, who was known for assessing heavy speeding fines. "The U.S. Patent Office doesn't recognize that patent. To call this town Dipstick would be a lie." Mayor Swinburne responded with a short but steamy affair with Lulu, the cleaning lady. The money from the speed traps kept coming in. Judge Schwartz bought a wig, like judges wear in Britain, and he strutted around wearing it in the privacy of his home. Earl Krieger invented talking soap, the edible shoe, strength pills for toddlers, new ways to clean elephants, a plug-in breast augmentation device, and better ways to plant grass. The people of the town drank beer. When the governor signed the name change permit, Swinburne and Maggie danced around the office. They high-fived each other and bumped their fists. They drank martinis and smoked cigars. The money kept rolling in, even with the interstate being built, even with the speed limit increase to 55. "Statues of steel rust," said Judge Schwartz, referring to the bronze and steel statue of a dipstick that had been erected in the town square. "You can't teach children falsehoods," he said of the school boards adopting a new, locally written dipstick curriculum for social studies class. "Signs grow old and fade," he said of the "Where the Dipstick Was Invented" welcome sign that stood at the midpoint of the point-to-point speed trap on the edge of town. "Our football team is winning, playing like they've got a chip on their shoulder. We are now united by a common belief. We share the same perspective on our past. The world may deny it, but we are good people, and our values are right. We are Dipstick. We have integrity. We are true." As Earl Krieger grew older, he paid less and less attention to the cares and politics and social interactions of other people. He invented the portable sonic nutcracker, and he truly believed that the world would be a better place if people would just crack nuts instead of yelling at each other. Toward the end of his life, he tried to build a camera, which he claimed could see into the human soul and weigh a man's spiritual worth. "God will strike that man down," warned Judge Schwartz. "It's the Tower of Babel all over again. Men should not dare to rival God." Earl Krieger was brought to the hospital, where he was given a remote control for his TV. He was also shown a control panel with buttons that he could press to make his bed rise and fall. He found his new environment absolutely fascinating, and he vowed that if he ever got well, he would invent a remote control TV viewing station with a miniature refrigerator and an easy-to-attach catheter that would allow a person to watch TV and drink beer without ever having to get up and go to the bathroom. Unfortunately, the TV viewing station was never invented. Earl Krieger never did get well.